I'm struggling with getting my distance for whatever reason. I think I'm at a good distance and then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm too close. All right, it's hot. We're gonna get in the shade now.
Hello friends, welcome to this vlog. I'm not really sure how many days I'm going to be taking you along on. I'm not sure if we're going to wrap it up today or if we're going to be continuing on for a few days. And that is because my family is getting into the wheat harvest. It's July 1st as I am filming this, and let me tell you guys, it is the hottest day of the year. We always make this joke that we do the wheat harvest or we do the wheat baling, or I should say the straw baling on the hottest day of the year. My family doesn't really bale straw anymore since we don't have the livestock. But we do the wheat harvest still on the hottest day of the year, apparently. So it's hot, it's sultry out. What a day to be out in the sun. So there are definitely things that I need to do. One, I need to pull this hair up. Two, I definitely need to lather myself in sunblock. And then I also need to get into my other clothes. I just have some old jeans and an old tank top. I mean, honestly, I could use this one as well, but we're going to change it to those. And I do not want shorts on for this. Shorts are a big no-no pretty much when you're in the field. It's not a very safe option. Not to mention the wheat stubble can feel real uncomfortable on your bare legs too if you're not careful. Another thing I need to do is I need to pack a bag of a few equipment since I will be filming, as well as some snacks. So you never know when you're going to be able to get to some food. So snacks are always nice to have. And I definitely will have a water bottle as well. All right, I already added some hairspray to my hair. I always like to do that even if I am just pulling it up. Just gonna do a messy bun. And when I'm in the field, a lot of times I like to have my hair covered. A lot of times I put like a satin scarf around my hair, but this time I think I'm gonna borrow one of my mom's little cap like cover things and just see how I like that as well, because I'm looking for something that's going to be a little bit more breathable, and sometimes those scarves can get kind of hot on my head. So that's just why I'm trying something new, see if it just works a little bit better for this type of environment. You guys, I think this year might be the last year that my family does the wheat harvest too. It's kind of bittersweet. I mean, it always comes kind of in the middle of the summertime and everything, and you feel like, you know, maybe you might want to plan for some kind of trip or something like that, but I don't know. There's just something. I've done wheat harvest, or my family has done the wheat harvest every year since before I was born, and it's going to feel strange not having to do that in the following year. The reason why my family is looking to get out of it is because wheat just isn't as profitable of a crop, if I could talk. Sorry. Wheat just isn't as profitable of a crop for us. And then also the wheat stubble, for some reason, these slugs like to get into it and they're really hard to get rid of. And so when you go try to plant your next crop, sometimes it's detrimental to the next crop. Like I think my dad had to replant some beans this year, soybeans, because the slugs were like eating the seeds that he had planted. So yeah, that's the reason why. All right, hair is done. And a sunblock now. We're gonna put this all over. I'll probably have to have my husband help me with like the very back portions of my shoulder area I can't reach. And maybe reapplying the sunblock later in the day. I'm guessing that I'm going to be in the loader tractor, which will be taking the grain from the combine to the truck and semi. I'm guessing that's what I've done in the past. That's the piece of equipment I know how to handle the best. Although I feel like I will need a refresher because, yeah, well, you know, it's been a little while since I operated it. It's been last fall. And when you don't do this every day, a big piece of equipment, you want to make sure you're doing it right. I think I could drive it fine, but it's like the unloading it that I want to make sure that I'm doing correctly. Don't want to be dumping grain all over. I did that once. It was really embarrassing. I mean, no one was mad at me, but it was really embarrassing. It was a lot of work to try and correct that. All right, here's the point where I'll call on my husband for reinforcements to help me get back there. All right, just gathering things up. I've got my sunglasses. I have my bag, my phone, which will go in my bag here. This little contraption holds my phone in place on the window thing. And got my water thermos. I do want to get my snack. Just gonna grab one of these Bivita crunchy things. It's blueberry flavor. Pretty good. Just like a little biscuit cookie like thing. And I did get a message from my dad. We were originally supposed to be starting at 1, but if you know my dad at all, it's one of those, he says we're going to start at 1, maybe a little bit earlier is what he said, which means we will be trying it at noon. He didn't say that, but I know that's what he's thinking. So I was planning on getting there at 11:30. Now I have a text that says they're going to try it at noon. And so I'm thinking he's going to try it 11:45. He's going to start rolling out there and everything like that. So I need to be there earlier, which means I need to get myself in gear. All right, I think I've got everything pretty well ready. I just need to grab my work shoes. My old like lawn shoes is what I use basically, just an old pair of tennis shoes.
Okay, I hope I have my mic hooked up in such a way that it's working. We're going to be starting with testing the wheat. We're going to do the ends of the field at my grandma's place and just see how it's testing. And if it's a go, then great. We'll work today. If not, then we may try later this afternoon, or we may wait until tomorrow, which tomorrow I won't be able to be here. But my parents were on a bike ride yesterday, and Dad saw several other farmers, I think he said 5, in their wheat fields and stuff taking off. And so he's definitely antsy to get in there as well. So let's see how it goes. Finding anything good in there, Bob? Finding anything good? Yeah, good boy. You're a good boy. It is testing, the wheat is testing about 16.2, which ideally you want it to be between 13 and 15, so maybe like ideally 14, but we're going to go with it, I guess, at least for now. So I'm going back up to get the cart that's over by the barns, take it back there to the combine. My parents are getting the semi in the truck. All right, we just did our first dump and I'm at the far end of the field and my uncle is driving the combine right now. This is his field over at my grandma's place. And let me show you where my grandma's place is. If you swing clear over there where the barns are is my grandma's place. It looks longer than it is. It's probably about 32, 34 acres, not huge. This isn't a wide field. Just trying to learn this tractor again every year. I think I said this already. It's just a little nerve-wracking. I'm a little anxious to do a dump on the go. And with the wheat header, the wheat header is the same as the soybean header, but it's a lot larger, a lot wider. And that's just another element to it. You gotta make sure that you don't hit the header while your tractor tire is, it feels like about this close, maybe a little bit more distance than that. But, and also I'm paranoid that I'm going to lose this microphone because I lost one last year while we were harvesting the corn. So I keep looking down. If you see me looking down, that's why. But yeah, now I have one load in here. I'm going to get another load in here before I head up and dump in either the truck or the semi. I'm not sure which one first, if it matters really. So, all right, I'll catch you guys later. All right, so I think it's about 2:30. I actually forgot to look at my clock or the phone before I turned the video on, started recording. But we've had one truck go for our load and one semi, and then I just filled the red truck again, so it's gonna be heading out. We haul our wheat to like a very local farmers co-op, and then for our soybeans and our corn, we haul those to places where they directly make the product that they're going to be using. So for like the beans, we haul it to a place that makes the soybean oil, a processing plant. And for the corn, we either haul it to a place that grinds it into animal feed, or we haul it to a place that makes it into, what's that called, ethanol. So those are the options that we do. Like I said, though, the wheat just goes to a local farmer's co-op, and from there it's shipped out to wherever they take it. I don't really know. We've got more than half of this field done. Actually, I think the rest of this field we can finish up and get done in the semi. I'm thinking that's what Dad suggested, and I kind of guessed that he was right. I need to catch up to the combine though a little bit more rather than just focusing on talking. By now though, I do think I got the hang of doing a dump on the go a little bit better, and I feel much more confident about that. But still, dumping into the truck or the semi, I'm struggling with getting my distance for whatever reason. I think I'm at a good distance, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I'm too close. So it's kind of one of those things, like as I'm going down the length of the bed, whether it's the semi or the truck, I'm like realizing I'm closer and closer somehow, and I feel like I'm trying to correct the other way. It's a whole thing. Nothing bad has happened. It's not the most pretty job, I'll say that. Maybe by the end of the day it will be different. I think I'll probably just check in then when we finish up for the day, see how far we've gotten. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we'll get this field done. Not sure if we'll start into another field or not. If we do get into another field, then they might finish up by tomorrow if everything goes well. If nothing breaks down, everything goes well. Oh, that's another thing. The wheat was testing, I told you earlier that it was testing like 15.8. That was based on the combine's records. Now, when Dad hauled the first grain truck to the elevator, the overall testing was like 14.5, or was it 14.2? Something like that. Anyways, as the day is going on, the wheat is continuing to dry out more. So, they want to get it harvested now. Ideally, you don't want it to go much below 13 because that takes your test weight down as well. So you want the grain to be as heavy as it can be without being too much moisture in it. And the moisture also helps with the heaviness, the weight of the grain. One thing I did notice this year was that the wheat has held up pretty well, at least as far as the fields that I can see. I drive past my one parent's place all the time, so I can see that one has stood up pretty well. This one, there is no wheat lying down. I feel like almost every year we have wheat lying down. Like it just falls down due to either like storms, like heavy rains or hail if we would get that. Or sometimes the wheat head is just so heavy that the stalk can't support it. So it will kind of come down then. And that just makes it more difficult for the combine to be able to get to it and everything. And sometimes you miss them. So ideally you don't want it to be fallen. So hopefully this is a really nice wheat harvest. I'm really hoping. One final shebang for us finishing up the wheat. It's gonna be so sad. Like we are never harvesting wheat again. And I don't know, I kind of feel like it's one of my favorites. I think maybe I think that way too because of I just like associate it with when we would also bale straw after the wheat was done. And I think like it was a whole family get together. Everybody was helping out. When I was at my youngest point, my great-grandparents were both helping out. My great-grandpa was on the baler tractor, and either my dad or grandpa was behind that on the wagon loading the bales up, and then the rest of them would be in the mow. Grandma and both my grandmas, my great-grandma and my grandma would be on the wagon pulling the bales off of that so the other people could load it into the mow. And that's, I don't know, it just reminds me, it's just such wholesome memories, I guess is what I'm trying to say. By the way, I don't know if I said this earlier, but my great-grandmother actually stopped baling when she was 84 years old. And so that is remarkably impressive. I'd like to say I could do the same thing, but I won't have that opportunity really. It was funny because her daughter, my grandmother, would say, "Mom, you gotta stop baling. I can't stop baling if you don't stop baling." So, and then even when great grandmother did stop baling, my grandma continued to do it a little bit more. Although at that point, I kind of think at that point we were done with the livestock. No, we still had livestock. I take that back. We still had livestock till about 2017, I think, was when we got rid of the cattle because it was the year before I got married. I do remember that. but we didn't have many cattle at that point. We were just like finishing off the last of what we had. All right, so like I said earlier, before I kept on chatting and everything like that, I will get back with you when we kind of wrap up the end of harvest today. All right, we have finished up with this field. My cart is full. I don't think you guys could see it really. And my uncle is at the far end of the field. He just made the last trip and he's coming back. And I don't even think he's combining now at this point. But yeah, we are full, waiting on the semi to get back so I can dump this load into there. And then we'll move on to the next field. It's probably about 4 o'clock at this point. The earlier time when I had said, when I last checked in, I guess, I thought it was 2:30. No, it was probably close, somewhere between 3 and 3:30. So yeah, I had the soybeans here behind me. So take a look at those, how those are coming. I have the dog here too, if you can't hear. So flowers are just coming out. They self-pollinate, so they don't really need insects or wind. I didn't verify that with my dad, but that's what the internet said. So I guess maybe I should check that out with him first. The internet isn't right about everything, is it, Bob? All right, it's hot. We're gonna get in the shade now. One perk about my job, well, lots of perks, I should say. I really enjoy doing the cart, but one really nice thing about it is it does have air conditioning, whereas the trucks and the semi do not. Bob, don't worry about him. He can go up to the house area, so there's plenty of shade and cooler spots there, and that's what he will do. Since I'm out of the tractor, he's more interested in being here right now, though, so. Okay, as you can see, combine is gradually coming up, so I'll catch you later. After finishing up at that one field that was my uncle's, we had moved over to my parents' place, and we were already pretty much halfway through this. What I didn't explain is our local elevator had closed at 5. So the last clip that I had showed you, we were no longer able to haul anything into the elevator after that. So we had filled up the semi pretty much with what my uncle had from the previous field. And then here we are just filling up as much as we can. We're filling the truck up as much as we can and fill the combine up. And that is going to be a wrap pretty much on this harvest for me. You could see here the combine lights are blinking, so that means she is full, just getting it to the very peak of fullness that we can, and closing things up, parking things, putting them away.
Well, friends, it's been a couple days since I filmed the last clip. I filmed the wheat harvest, my participation in the wheat harvest, on Wednesday. Thursday, I had to work all day in town, and I was really holding out hope that we would still be in the wheat fields, just finishing up on Friday today. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I mean, I'm happy my family was able to get the wheat harvest in. They finished it up on Thursday while I was doing my other job, so I'm happy for them. But I'm also disappointed, sad for myself that I did not get to participate in that anymore. We only had 3 fields, so it was and they were smaller fields, I will say that. And so wheat harvest just went really fast. So I've been so thankful for this experience, but I'm also very sad because if I didn't say it already before, which I think I have, this is the final year of my family doing wheat, planting wheat and harvesting it. And I just feel like, I was talking to my uncle the other day about this, and I just feel like it's the end of an iconic, like, when I think of a typical iconic, at least Midwestern farm, I think of wheat. I just do. And maybe that's more of an old school thing. Back in the day, a lot of farmers had livestock and they needed the wheat for the straw as bedding for their animals and everything. But over the course of the years, a lot of farmers have weeded out or gotten rid of their livestock, at least in our area. And so they just don't need the wheat necessarily, and wheat has been a lower performing commodity. And it's one of those things, but I just love the way the wheat field, a golden wheat field, looks in the summertime. And when you get the lightning bugs on it, oh, it's magical. It's just a magical experience. The lightning bugs on a golden wheat field with a full moon. You can't get any better than that. I wished I could have been able to capture that for you, honestly, but unfortunately I wasn't able to. So thank you for coming along on this journey. Thank you for just living this one last experience with me, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until I see you again in the next video, have a great day. Bye, friends.